Hello everyone, this is Phoenix. Sorry for not streaming the last few days. I mostly was a mixture of I wasn't feeling well. From there, I also was just busy RL. And I mostly was just getting over it because the weather here was raining so much. Okay, today I got 8 matches for you from the Duelist Cup. So far, I have some losses, couple loses in there that at least I think were decent since I didn't break as much, just some stuff that happened. Overall, I gave you 3 decks to mostly my Traptrix deck, my Cyber Dragon deck, and my Fallen Brand deck, which I update a little bit. But with what I have. Overall, my Traptrix deck is still the same. I'm not updating it anytime because my branded project that's ongoing. It's so far everything else is like the same in the last deck profiles I'm doing lately. It's still the same, not much. My Cyber Dragon deck still is technically the same as it usually is, same profile. The only difference, it's still running the 48 card engine, mostly with Nibiru and some Tekken engine cards. I am thinking of updating it pretty soon, eventually, I'm just not sure when. I'm still waiting on some newer stuff, I feel like. Overall, my brand deck's technically the same, the only difference is I'm running one more of pretty much Lubinin one more, and I took out one more sprint, and this happened a couple before this video, which only happened for the last match I'm going to show you. I can't show the deck profile sadly, so that's not much. Overall, I got an announcement where I'm going to be streaming for at least the next couple days, outside my Twitter announcement. Sadly, pretty much actually I can't show much else. Also, I just realized it was actually 7 when I'm doing this. Also, I can't show deck profiles, but I can pretty much type it as long as I go along. Overall, my Traptrix deck, I decided to open up with Traptrix. If I could ban out the Astral Imperm, it'll be alright. Go into Syria, go into Parallel, go into my last one being Parallel C, go into Traptrix, Rusty. First off, it was against this Despia. Okay. I decided to Ash them, call back grave, mostly get a lure in my hand. Activate a lure, go into Traptrix full. Since I pretty much won't need it, I figured I need Imperm more. Set one card, so I go my break off. Decided to fuse there. I wish I took it out now and waited to call by the grave. Now, at this point, I said I go break off Triple, so make gates and destroy it. Opponent rage crit from there. Actually, I may have not actually used my Cyber Dragon deck, I was thinking. Huh. I'm just gonna leave it in since it's this brief match in, I guess. This hand, I essentially just bricked a lot. Opening hand, but it had tons of out for some stuff like Chain Hole, so I can mostly punish them a little bit. Next, suddenly, this is where I was like, okay. I decided to do a Traptrix Triple. This felt more like a stalling match. Essentially, I wish I actually committed last turn and played my actual traps. Since I could have set Siri Diner, but it wouldn't have mattered, I guess. Now that I look at it. Regeki, I was thinking, why the heck's that person's putting it face down? Next up, they activate that. I said go try to pull spikes, mostly get rid of it again. First up, I still don't know what the heck my opponent's playing out here. I luck it out to gain my Fusion Destiny off. That's the only thing at least I'm glad of. I decided I might as well get rid of it. I essentially have an out for everything. I'm some more surprised they didn't quit at this point. So I sent one, said Dino, 9 in the field. Either way, I essentially destroy it or get anything else. So. This is match number 3. Traptrix hand was excellent when I had opening. I had max C, which is pretty good. If they didn't do anything there, I could have done it. I did that so at least I can get my monster. But I was like, it was just a bait. So I'm at Serie, Parallel Exceed skill, special summon out, special summon another one, but Ash happened. So my Parallel set 3, and I still don't know I'm facing against outside Imperm. Imperm, then I realize I'm playing against Dragonmaids. Traptrix 3. My opponent doesn't realize that it does not affect by traps, my monster, and they just realized that afterwards. So they decided to quit there. Overall, I had tons of outs for that match, but like overall, this is where my I had a little back and forth more to work with. Opening hand wise, is I had Ash to work with, Solomon. The next one I was like Swordsoul. I don't think I have an out for this immediately. I did realize I have a misplay I didn't realize at the time. I think if I recall right. Another Swordsoul. Activate Imperm. Negate it. Then next up, this is where everything else became bad for me. This was where number 5 happened, and it had Swordsoul. Next time I activate Sure. I still had it out in token form, so I had everything to work with. In phase 2, it set my Void Trap will sit down. My first thoughts were I don't have an out to work with from here on out. They go into Swordsoul. Also, my opponent chained it well, I guess, but that monster they drew was pretty much the out they needed. I wish it was in my hand now because of that. I essentially surrendered there since I knew it would pretty much go after a rank 10 engine and it wouldn't have mattered. Overall, my misplay, I actually feel like I should have allowed them to let me turn Nibiru in my hand. They would have still had outs, but they would have summoned more monsters, I feel like, at that point in time. And I guess still have something to work with. My traps. Actually, it would return to my hand, so it doesn't matter. I have a Fusion SAC, since I have a brick. I decided to Ash here. Actually, I didn't Ash. Weird. I was sworn I would have Ashed. Oh yeah, that's right. It's only one card, so it doesn't matter. I got a Red Torrent. Hobby Spellduster, destroy most of my back row. So I have much to work with. From here, I do not know what I'm dealing with, since they just quit. I had nothing to go on off there, so to go off what they're facing against, so that's weird. Duel number, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 7. Oh wait, man. This is what I decided to go to. Well, but since I need more fusions, and essentially I feel like using most of my stuff, I decided to go into Despia, so when my own cards go grave, so I do that. Go into Albin into Fury. And I had an out being Imperm and Ferment Droplet. So I had some stuff. I had 2 cards to work with. Call by the Grave into that. That was the one thing I was surprised about. And I was like, what am I placing against? I realized it later on in a match. I didn't know Albaz in my hand. To my hand, so I have something worked with. Going to Albaz. I realized I could have summoned Albaz, but I felt like I should probably wait and actually if it's a bait or not. I got rid of the mobility, the one card that would have cost me the game, I feel like. This is why I have Effect Failure deck, so I have a third for non-fusions. Decided to go and destroy them both. I'm still not committing into my field. I had Call by Grave, but I still had much relief when my opponent realized it. Oh, it was connection failed, but it still would have mattered. I kind of wish that they actually can give you every single details if you have a connection failed at least, for every single play you did. Activating spells, your whole dailies, including the... pretty much everything. This duel I had too many outs, I felt like. I go into Branded, I go into Luber so I can get branded. If nothing else, I have Fusion Destiny to work with. Go into that, go my same combo as last match. Immediately go to Mirror Jade, go into Fusion Destiny. And my turn with this, I have Ash and a Maxi, so I got some outs. The grass looks greener. I did not know what I was placing at the time, so I decided to do an Ash first instead of Maxi, which was probably the better idea. As we can see here, it was pretty much the last deck. It's pretty much zombie branded. Zombie Albaz. With Necro World, with Zombie World. Being the structure deck a little bit when Super Poly. I'm just glad I didn't deck in my deck a lot. Otherwise my deck would have been more thinner. They essentially got Demon King, Allure by Darkness. I decided to banish it. A Luber happened. The next up, pretty much they realized they had to have any outs, I'm guessing. Call by the Grave would be handy once I go into Mirror Jade and Mirror Jade, but I also have outs with everything else. Makes me more curious what that I was facing. Overall, those are the matches. Sadly, there's not much, but I can make it with some bonus matches, I guess, being 2. 2, which I'm going to publish soon, I guess. Oh, wait. So, since I still have some time to work with, I decided to go into this. Being the case, I have a couple more matches to work with, and there's not much, still times to work with. I decided to go to one more deck profile, being Arm Bridges. The Arm Bridges are, which are mostly a deck that evolves around you pretty much having high your life points to the opponent. That's the main thing about Aroma cards. Overall, they're cards that mostly they make you gain life points a lot, or spells. In the case of cards like this, like Aroma Garden. Overall the deck's more budget friendly, as I can tell, since they're only running, the only UR I can recognize immediately is Ghost Ogre, Regekis, which you only get 1, so they have 2 to got the second. Harpy's Feathers probably as well, and I always keep forgetting Power Everest is not UR. From what I can tell, the deck's mostly just incomplete. Also, 2 Ashes, I forgot about it. One that's probably fun to bundle either way, so it doesn't matter. I'm more surprised I don't see Imperm or anything else in the deck. since that's always the second best eruption to run. Let's see, Aroma. First, oh yeah, the only RR is pretty much Aroma server. I rather not go into deal deck if I don't know it that well, so I'm just surprised at how much yours they're not running. Either way, I'm actually glad at least I included the Star Dragon deck profile now for the bonus matches. I don't make a video that's less than 20 unless it has content a lot, but since I don't have a lot of deck profiles to go off of, I decided not to. Go into Hertz, go into Pride Plant, or add Veer back to my hand, so I have 2. Fusion Destiny into that. Inside Shortbow so I don't get Lava Golem or Kaiju both times. Aroma. At first I was like, my opponent's mostly gonna send cards to the deck. Click Grave, so. Go into Aroma. Go into Galaxy Soldier, get started Veer, special summon that. Go into Galaxy Soldier, discard another Veer. Back call right. Silver Dragon, OG. Go into Galaxy Nova, go into Cyber, special summon out. 1 Cyber Dragon. Go into Cyber Dragon again. Go into No Vanity. Go into Fusion Denier. And I essentially just have one OTK turn to work with. Which is the main specialty Cyber Dragon, so overall that opening second turn was probably the best. That's the reason why I went to Veer. It didn't matter what Cyber Dragon though, but I decided to keep more of my OG Cyber Dragons in my deck for machine duplication if I get it at all that match. I'd rather play it down low, don't overextend that much. Also, pretty much I decided to weigh on my Ash a little bit so I can work with something that's actually more targetable once I know a deck a little bit more. Off details. It has been a while since I played against Aromas. Next deck is against Photons, which are probably the most down deck. They're annoying in a sense that because of cards like Galaxy Eyes, which is OG, I'm more surprised they're not running a third, not running more Galaxy Soldier since it's more consistent running out a level 5, and not running more of the Cypher engine, which is strange to me. They have a lot more targets to go into rank 8s, that's the only thing I noticed. The Cypher Eyes were pretty much the better engine, but either or doesn't matter. Photon Thrasher. Galaxy Cloud Dragon, personally, you should be running at least a couple more. Ashok Kriba, I think. I could be wrong, I don't know. Maxi, I'm not surprised by the Ash after looking at the Imperm. The only thing I'm surprised about, they're only running 1 Galaxy Soldier for the deck. Since it's more consistent Galaxy Eyes, 1 more Nebula alongside it. Take down the Photon Thrasher. If I recall right, I just don't remember how. The Galaxy, the Photon Thrasher, which is actually combo off the Galaxy, I'm guessing. I don't remember if Photon Thrasher is actually easy to get out. Galaxy Wizard, which is not surprising since you actually get to make it easy rank 8 with it, with the monster you want. 3 Afterglows is not one thing I'm not surprised about since its utility mostly revolves around when it's detached. Nibiru is what I expected. Regeki is whatever. Harvey's Feathers, not surprised. Reforce Army is pretty much a vanilla 1-of card. I think. Okay, so it has more targets. I do not know all my Photons. So it has 4 targets, so it's worth Reforce Army then. Okay. Trade-ins, they should be running at least 1 more, I feel like, the deck. So, to get off of. How many? Hold on. Off of 10, pretty much is like Blue Eyes, since it's most in a brick outside Nebula. It needs another level 8 in the hand. Photon Saturate is at least a good target to mostly get off your Photon Galaxy Dragon, but it's also good in the sense that you can also link summon off of them. Galaxy Expeditions, whatever. Since at least against the like combo off, Bolta Hand is probably personally not really that good to run it in the first place. It works though, but it feels not utility wise good. Galaxy Trance is actually pretty good since it actually works for Galaxy monsters and utilizing at least a decent amount of quality mode to utilize it. Since it's mostly good for TK, Lightning Storm, not surprised. Galaxy Zero is pretty good though, but it's actually at least decent. Since actually allows you to still have a monster to work with, it will just not be as good. Quellco, it's not surprising. Hyper Galaxy is the one thing I'm not surprised about. Back to the fronts, like whatever. Utility wise, evenly matched should be ranked at least one more to two more copies at least for evenly matched for the Photon deck. Everyone's not surprising. Star Leech is not one thing I'm not surprised about, since it's at least good cards actually in most link 4s. Star Leech is not surprising since it allows you to go off photons. Monsters out, well, so allowing you to use your monsters with 2000, which is mostly this Galaxy, which is just Photon Thrasher, Galaxy Ice, Galaxy Knight, Nebula and Dragon, and Afterglow. Not much to work with. But outside that, most of the ranks from there. Neo Galaxy AI Photon is actually at least good since it allows you to field negates a lot of effects from there on out that are face up. Personally, you should run at least 2, mostly for the matchups against Albaz branded in general, but outside that, not much. Utility wise, there could be a lot more to work with. Galaxy Ice Prime is not surprising to me since he likes the combos. Since it allows you to special summon this card, it has Galaxy Ice, so it makes sense. Alongside you gain more power. Galaxy Ice Full Armor Photon is not surprising since the whole thing is quick parts. But there's not a lot of equip cards to essentially work with it. So pretty much you're just utilizing to go to higher powers. That's all they can realize. Cypher Dragon's not surprising, since at least it's pretty standard what it does in utility wise. Traptrix Photon Lord is at least probably the most good discard here, since it allows you to monster negate or take one Photon and Galaxy that either attach your hand or attach it, so it's actually utility wise is good. It especially gets destroyed. Cypher Blade at least allows you to re-equip some stuff, utilities, and also once per turn, detach one material from this card, destroy one, and it discards or saves some control, destroyed by battle, with the most destroyed by contact. Allows you to special one Cypher Blade, so at least allows you to go back into it. The combo wise again with a blank. Next up, pretty much Galaxy Cypher, which most monsters cannot target them with card effects for 2 materials, which is actually pretty good. From there, pretty much, you can also, once per turn during your standby phase, return 1 Link 9 overgrave, then special that monster using your extra deck by using this card material, which allows them to re-loop the materials that they needed every single time, so it has at least 1 minimum. Or going back into Cypher Blade, go into Cypher Dragon, into this, go back in this, so or Zeus option. Which, I know how I explain Zeus because everyone should know Zeus, 2 months same level. Personally, it's alright, but it's only use ice material, so that you can seize, but that's about it. Overall, let's get straight into the match. was just pretty much going Cyber Dragon that day since I got rid of my dailies I need out there. Afterglow was surprising. Cyber Dragon into something into Cypher Blade. For some reason, I remember like I couldn't actually target it with Kaiju, so I decided to go into Mega Fleet, Admin Machine, Mega Fleet there, and my turn might go into Power Plant Verte, mostly utility wise. Send it Fusion Destiny. I know what I mostly had to do, so I had to go Fusion Destiny to ruin most of the destruction plays I need for most of this match. And also, people not sending quick plays, all things are ridiculous unless your hand's almost dead. Most of the remaining match is essentially just pure beatdown. I was trying them both, trade in. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? I said, come on with Cyber Dragon, go into Cyber Dragon Nova, Cyber Dragon Tribute, go into beatdown here. I didn't know what my opponent was utilizing, so go into Cyber Dragon Nova, go into Cyber Dragon Nova, discard material, special summon out Cyber Dragon again, go into Vedi, and my turn here. And I had the board wipe to need it. Overall, also the matches. Now for announcement, I'll be going back to my previous platform of streaming. It's in the description right now. I'm pretty much going back into mostly playing out Vanguard Deer Days on that channel. Back there, so I can actually get more views to work with. Like, I noticed that most of my previous Vanguard Zero Billy streams weren't doing that so good, so I'm pretty much thinking about moving back there permanently. But once I'll come back to streaming here, mostly for Master Duel. I haven't streamed Master Duel lately. I've mostly just been a mixture of Pokemon Violet, which I mostly just finished, and a mixture of there's just not much going on, so I might just start going back into it. I feel like at this point, if I have time, but I'm also trying to catch up on old series I used to watch to remember some stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day or night wherever you are.